I thought I grew up in the country. What they're telling me now is I grew up in a rural community. Yes, I can't even say that word, rural, right? It reminds me of my aunt when she didn't have her teeth in and she was yelling at my Uncle Earl. She's like, rural! Rural! Renting the rut, you know? So growing up in the rural country is different. I grew up in Florida, and I'm going to tell you a true story about growing up in rural Florida, all right? At the time, I was 17 years old, right out of high school, and it was a Friday night. And I was doing what every underage drinking kid in rural America does. I was on a 45-mile round trip to the only place in 3 counties that would actually sell me beer. Okay, I'm the only one that ever did that. So at the time, I am driving a 1980 clapped out rust bucket of a Ford Bronco. And if you don't know what a Bronco is, just Google O.J. Simpson. So I'm on my way home, just got my beer. I'm on this 2-lane country road. And I notice that this little car in front of me pops up in the air and goes off the side of the road. So I get up on this car and I realize that they had just run over a 7-foot alligator. Yes. So listen, it's just good country manners that if you happen to kill an animal, you get first dibs on the meat. So I walked up to the driver's window and I said to her, "Hey, you want the meat?" And all she said was, "I'm married." She took off so fast, she hit 2 squirrels. I'm like, sweet, appetizer. So I put this gator in the back of my Bronco, next to the beer, next to the 2 squirrels, and I felt like I needed to cover this alligator up, all right? And all I had was an old t-shirt that had one on spring break. I just flipped it over the top, you know. I said, "We're going to freezer camp, buddy." So I get about 5 miles down the road and I start to hear a noise in the back of my Bronco. And that's when my memory kicked in. Tim, you just put a dead alligator in the back of your Bronco. And that's when I had an epiphany. There might be a difference between dead and knocked the hell out. This is a pivotal point in my life, people. So I look in my rearview mirror, and I can see this gator is turning. I can see one eye. I can see one eye. And his head is turning, and it's a real slow motion. I can see this thing turn around, and it's slow because gators don't have necks. So it's really, the best I can compare it to is a fat guy in a porta-john trying to turn around. All of a sudden, this gator and I make eye contact. Now this wasn't like I looked across the dance floor and I saw my soulmate and we were going to dance. This is like I just came home and my grandparents are making out on my kitchen table, right? You don't see that kind of stuff. So apparently the gator didn't like what he saw either. Because all of a sudden, he completely turns around in the back of my Bronco. Now, I don't mean he did this purple Barney, he did this reptilian jitsu, tuck his head between his legs, flip it through the other leg, tail around like this, up over the back seat, right behind my right ear. So now I'm trying to drive, jump out of a vehicle, and punch a gator. And you might say to yourself, Tim, did you soil your seats? No. Apparently, when you're that scared, your sphincter muscle slams shut. Which came in handy. So I jump out of the vehicle, Bronco's still rolling down the road. I'm like, oh man, Gator's gonna steal my Bronco. And then I remembered, gators can't drive, they don't have thumbs. So I catch up in the back of the Bronco, and out of nowhere, whoop, whoop, red light, blue light, highway patrolman snuck up on me, lit me up like Christmas. I'm like, oh crap. I'm standing here in shorts and rubber boots. There's a gator in my back seat wearing a Key West tank top. Yeah. And he's ready to party. So the highway patrolman walks up to me and says, son, what seems to be the problem? I said, officer, there is a live alligator in the back of my Bronco. And all he said was, huh. Huh? What has this man seen in his career that a live alligator? So he said to me, he goes, son, you make a habit of picking up hitchhiking alligators? I said, no, sir, they can't. They don't have thumbs.